there was a lot of dishonesty, and unfortunately, there's still the dishonesty that is on the table today, and that is why they are not able to see beyond being angry with us when we point it out. So the things have been different, certainly, because why am I here today is to say, if we get an opportunity now, because that is in the past, these taxes that have been heaped on people will have to be removed. You cannot tax people beyond a point where they themselves cannot survive. The only reason that we are here is to help each other. So taxation must be reasonable. We must do away with all this taxation. The regulations that are being brought in the agricultural sector must be done away with. This thing of climate change, you have seen in the US, the Democrats lost on account of climate change, because everything about climate change was hurting the people. We now am told there are some parts of our forests that we have to cede to the global market because of climate change. We need to understand what it means.
Yeah.
These are things. So honesty must be. When I come here and tell you, because I can see what is happening, I am among the people who are saying, to avoid all this and to ensure that Kenyans get out of where we are, we must put our ambitions. Slow our ambitions. If I wanted to run for president 2027, I'm saying, and especially if I'm coming from the mountain, I'm saying, and I'm not saying people should not declare, but our position as Jubilee is this: we are going to run a non-mountain candidate.
Okay.
Our candidate for Jubilee will be a non-mountain candidate.
It seems to be important. Why is that important?
Because then I'm able to deal with this 41 against 1. Because if people are taken back to the Moi era, and they are told about these mountain people, like you had some of the individuals who joined cabinet the other day saying, like, some places have tarmac to their homes, others we have electricity. I would want to be outside and take the demands of my people to them. Me coming from the mountain, so that I can go and angle for development in my area while I'm not the one of the executive. But even before that, this is I hope you can and please allow me. And I keep using this example. I invited Oparanya to my constituency when I was a member of parliament, and I made Oparanya to drive not along the Nyeri-Nyahururu highway to get into the constituency. And when we got to a place called Dogino, he asked me, "Are you sure we are still in in central Kenya?" I told him, "Yes, this is still central province, the way we used to call them." Then he asked me, "And what is this whole thing we've been?" Oparanya donated nurses from Butere constituency. He was the MP for Butere and MP and Minister for Planning. He donated nurses from Butere constituency to my constituency because all the health centers were without an officer.
Why?
Because we didn't have.
They need to be posted.
They need to be posted by the national government.
Yes, but then there's somebody who does a job. There's somebody who does a job of ensuring that posting happens.
You are spot on. They had been posted across the country, but the perception is that in our region, they are all it's automatic. All hospitals would have even doctors and gynecologists and people who can do operation surgeons. But when you go in there, you realize the need that is there, the poverty levels. Yesterday, a research was released, and we will have time to talk about it. Look at the distribution of wealth, the growth that is happening across counties. Look at the counties around our region. So other than that, other than the fact that we want to ensure that mountain does not become the only block that is offering a presidential candidate, because we have a control of about 7 million votes. So any person we put there will either win or become a running, or will force a runner a second round of elections. Now we are saying these 7 million votes, and this is my appeal to people from the mountain. Tukubali sasa. Wacha sisi pia tukae kando. Tutafute mtu ambaye anaweza ongoza Kenya from another smaller community. Akuje, we give him our 7 million votes. We campaign with him. Of course, he must win the votes. Then we are able to take issues to him and say we need more constituencies like other areas.
But is that not what happened with these elections?
Well, it didn't. That time was not. It is. We are now making it a very deliberate thing.
And I'm saying it did because...
Okay, it did. We had Raila and Ruto.
Yes.
And what we are now trying to say, the difference here is this: we do not want to have to split our votes. We want them in one basket.
How did you split the votes when, in my mind, the tilt that came and what enabled the KG government to win, it has been said, was the mountain?
It was a mountain because people, watu hawakuwa wamejielewa. Sasa wamejielewa. Walichezewa with the dishonesty.
What makes us think that wamejielewa sasa kama hawakujielewa hapo kando?
The thing is that we split our votes, and it's true we voted in Ruto and we voted in Raila. And we allowed ourselves to be manipulated, and we lost the votes for where we thought there would have been more sense for the country, some of us. This time round, we are actually going to have another candidate, and non-face what you are saying, because Kenyans are also looking for new faces. Faces that have not been maybe seen, but faces that have not tried this thing before. As a candidate, but we still have others, like we have still Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. We are not saying that he's not there, but we are going to have Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is a candidate in the opposition, Wiper. We have Omarwa, a candidate in the opposition, DAPK. Yes, so we are saying Jubilee, another party in the opposition with a candidate, and I'm now talking about Jubilee, where we are saying we have ourselves decided that but it's a thing that we will carry across the country to ensure that it is also coming from the people. But our thinking is that we have a candidate who is an Kikuyu helping us remember, we never had a candidate as Jubilee last time.
This thing that you say, is this not what Uhuru Kenyatta was trying to say?
No. You remember Uhuru Kenyatta was trying something different.
What was he trying?
But he tried something different with people in other parties. Yes, so even as he was trying it in other parties, he didn't have the attitude to help, because we have picked you from the Proverbs party. Yes, so you are controlled by the Proverbs from all over the Africa. But now we want somebody who is also in Jubilee. We're saying, Sisi, because let me also tell you why it will be a little different. When we went to everywhere we went and became tenants in without rights, and not rights in a manner. You are in somebody's house na wewe umeingia tu, hata nguo zako uliacha nje, blanket uliacha nje.
Kwa nini?
Kwa sababu ulifikiria ukiingia kule utakuwa kama watoto wa dunia hiyo.
In politics.
Sasa si ndio makosa, hata Rigiji mwenyewe anasema amegundua hiyo. So this time round we are saying we are going in all these things, but we are going in as with our party Jubilee, and we are asking people in the mountain to know that kila mtu ako na nyumba yake, ambaye na nyumba yetu ya kisiasa. Not to say that we don't have the political parties, but the dominant party there is going to be Jubilee, because we are going to work hard to ensure it is. We had very shambolic nominations 2022 within Jubilee that hurt very many people, and the people who are in charge of those things have since been put aside. We are going to ensure that we have better nominations that are determined by the people, so that we can be able to also have quality leaders and people who have
Jubilee was undermined from within.
Yes, that's why I'm saying it was we had very shambolic nominations. I mean, that undermining from within is what had continued for even after the elections. The same people who undermined us when nominations were going on are the same people who are fighting us when they had an opportunity to get in parliament and elsewhere. But now I can tell you where we are. We are in a much better place, where we can tell you, and even in the words of our party leader, Uhuru Kenyatta, he wants fair, free nominations. The person who ends up on the ballot must be the person the people in that electoral unit want. And that is something that he has repeated to me severally, because while he was in State House, he now knows people messed those he had entrusted with the party.
Would you have taken
it was very late in the day for somebody like me who came in much later. Because if you look at all the nomination certificates and Kenyans, people, even those who didn't understand, I never signed any. They were signed in other smaller rooms, and some others were signed at
everybody has that story about where they were or where they were not. Everybody will say, well, I wasn't there when this happened, or I wasn't in the room.
That's why I've never said it before, but I have evidence. Go and look at the certificates.
Yes. Let me ask this question. If you had been offered a position just as some notable individuals who would have been who are in the same circles as yourself, if you've been offered a position, as we have seen with nominations, would you have taken it?
Is it if? Or why?
If you had been given the bone.
No. Let's start with why you.
Let's start with where you offered one.
They were available, and I'm still there. I think they are still available. Yes,
And you have declined to take them.
I am committed to this cause, and I'm not saying those.
To the cause, but did you decline a position that was offered to you most recently? You could still be committed to the cause.
I
But
had to
did
ask
you
a
decline
frivolous
one?
question. Can you transfer the offer?